When we talk Filipinos in the UK, the first thing that comes to at least journalists' mind is the many Filipino nurses now in the UK and, well, the Filipino families that are now residing in the UK and are now, in fact, UK citizens. What would this coronation mean to them as Filipinos?
Well, I hope it will mean a celebration again of communities and coming together and a recognition that this is now their home and that they are also celebrated. So, you know, this is their home in the same way that the Philippines is my home now, and they're part of that really strong fabric of society. The president, obviously, President Marcos, will be there at the coronation with the First Lady, which we're incredibly excited about. So I hope that that will also be something for them to celebrate. It's about the bridge between our peoples and our cultures, and specifically to your point about the healthcare workers, we are so grateful to them. We celebrate them. We celebrate their malasakit on a regular basis because they're second to none.
Is there anything in terms of impact on the governance when we watch the coronation and we get to study the relationship between the monarchy and the government of Britain? What's there to learn? What can we pick up from this?
I think is really noteworthy is the combination of tradition and modernity. And for us, it is important to recognize that tradition and our institutions, our old institutions of the church, the constitution, the military, the history. You know, this ceremony, it's 1,000 years old.
That's true, because your history is so rich, and your culture. I mean, you're like, what, 5 times older than the Philippines?
We're old. We're old. We're very old. But you know, to your point about our history, it's been a difficult history as well. There've been pages of our history that are not particularly glorious when it comes to colonization, when it comes to our role in slavery. The royal family has had to answer questions on a lot of these.
The monarchy is also under pressure to account for those, right? Even though they happened centuries ago, and to a great extent, it's still being tied up with, you know, the lifestyle of the royalty. How do you think will King Charles III handle those controversial points?
I think he's already spoken out quite a lot about issues like colonialism, for example.
Right.
I think he's very clear where he stands on this. You know, we're deeply ashamed of the role that the UK played in colonialism, and now wanting to develop modern relationships with the countries that we work with across the world, of relationships of equals and of respect and understanding these are behind us. So I think he will play a very progressive role. He's already been really progressive in his engagement in the Commonwealth, thinking again about what brings us together, our values, our democracies, our love of freedom. I am asked this, why is this coronation important? What does it mean? What kind of king will King Charles be? And I really, really genuinely think that that's what it is. We're very good at understanding the importance of history and tradition to help us come together as one and really strengthen us as a country.
How will he be markedly different from Queen Elizabeth, which is, you know, when we think of kings and queens, she's the top of mind. How do you think he will make himself felt more distinctively?
Well, so I think when you look at his personal passions, climate and environment is one, so he will continue to speak about that, even though he won't cross that political divide. And I think that's something really important, again, globally, because he does have that power, given his role.
The influence is something.
And that influence,
that can be,
to be a force for good on those issues. He has certainly got that convening power, doesn't he? And his views will matter in that respect. So I think that's really positive.
I wonder how you feel about The Crown in Netflix and how that's really, in many ways, promoted awareness, raised awareness for the monarchy in the UK. Of course, there's both good and bad.
That's right.
In terms of the portrayal. But how do you feel about the fact that most Filipinos, at least, are only familiar to the extent that they've watched The Crown? And how do you, I guess, make that more sellable to the ordinary, well, Juan de la Cruz, as we call him here?
To be honest, I do have some mixed feelings. I think had it not been for The Crown, a lot of people wouldn't know so much about the UK and the royal family. And, you know, for us, it's really important that people do know about the UK, that they understand our history, our values, what we stand for, that they see us as engaging and modern and innovative. And The Crown's been helpful in that respect to getting our story out there. But you're right, a lot of people see it as a documentary, and that it is not. And so that's also a little bit challenging.
I know you're aware, as the whole world is, that the existence of monarchies has been under attack for the last couple of decades, and especially so now. I'm wondering if the British royalty is making any willful efforts toward, well, making themselves more relevant and more relatable, actually, to the general public, not just in the UK, but all over the world.
In the UK, the king is a really modern king, in fact, and he's very focused on communities, young people, different faiths, and he's really working hard to bring communities together and create that sense of unity. You look at the Commonwealth, and in fact, it's growing rather than reducing in size. And I think that is a recognition that, you know, the king does play that role. He can bring people together, and there is still, in the 21st century, a role for a royal family when it is about being a force for good like that.
Mga kapatid, Julius Babaw po. Iba na ang may alam at may pakialam sa panahon ngayon. Huwag maging huli at maging una sa lahat sa balitaan. Mag-subscribe at mag-follow sa social media pages ng News 5.